Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. You're offered the ability to absorb the knowledge of any book you touch instantly, but the way it works is that time freezes and won't unfreeze until you finish reading the book cover to cover. Do you accept this power / curse? Why or why not? 100% would accept. It gives me so many opportunities to be by myself. I like reading, so if I really had to read something, even if I accidentally touched it and hated it, I would. I get to spend hours upon hours by myself, and it's a pretty good way to cheat on tests or steal money or whatever. Yep. Same. Freeze time. Thanks for that power. Dangerous though. Imagine you touch a book with a page torn out. You could spend eternity alone, searching for that page. Edit. Few people saying that pages don't need to be present, it's just the ones between the cover. So can you just rip out all the pages to unfreeze time then? Just always have a little booklet with you, so whenever you are in some argument, you can tap your time freeze book to collect your thoughts and come off like some super fast-witted intellectual. You can think of your responses while you read. So you are telling me that I can freeze time whenever I wish for however long, and when I resume time I learn all the knowledge from a book of my choice? Hell yes, sign me the fuck up. Just as long as my only pair of glasses doesn't break. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Hell yeah. I get to take my time reading, absorb all the info, and I get enough time to actually read books instead of just skimming. Sign me up. It's all fun and games until you accidentally touch an encyclopedia. It's all fun and games until you need to rearrange your library. Edit. I get it, guys. Gloves. You can stop telling me that. Gloves. So if you accidentally touched a Bible, for example, you'd be stuck frozen in time for like 50 hours. I'm a bit confused about the monkey's paw fine print of this deal, but it doesn't sound that catastrophic. Edit. Yeah, you guys are right, 50 hours is a massive underestimation. That would cover the bulk of the Old Testament, but the whole thing is probably closer to 80 hours. But hey, supernatural speed reading, p. Imagine a shelf full of Bibles falling on you. Divine retribution. Imagine trying to figure out which one touched you first, reading like 6 Bibles and time not unfreezing, wondering if it's another Bible or if you accidentally missed a page in one of the 6 you think you've read. Edit. Imagine swearing on the Bible in court. Hey, could you hold these textbooks for me? Oh God, is that one in Mandarin? Yeah, I told you I'm studying abroad next semester. Why are you being so weird about this? I just need to tie my shoe. If you're a very slow learner and a reader, and if you touched a book in some other language, would you get old till you are done deciphering and reading it? Will you go from 10 years to 90 years in just the flash of normal time? Probably not. It's instant absorption of the knowledge, so to other people it seems like you didn't age or anything. So here is the caveat, it's instant absorption of the information in the book, right? If it's in another language, and not a book about learning that language itself, wouldn't you need to scour to find books on learning that specific language, touch them, then read them cover to cover, in order to be able to come back to the original book to read it cover to cover? How long would that take? Especially if time is frozen. You can't drive or ride a bike to somewhere that might have the books you're looking for. You could only walk, right? I'm certain that I'm overthinking this, but I feel like this could get very convoluted, very quickly. So I can move freely when time is frozen. Or am I stuck there reading? 'Cause if it's the former, what's the problem? If the latter, I can learn a lot of skills easily. Or freeze time by touching Clifford and having a nap. I can't see a downside either way. Let's say you only speak / read English. You touch an ancient Chinese manuscript that even modern literates can't read. How do you learn the language? Does it count if you just look at all the characters? You could die before finishing it, and you'd be lonely, frustrated, and bored until then. They never said you had to comprehend the information inside the book, just read it. I can effectively teleport by reading a book. I am technically immortal as long as I read. There's all the time I ever wanted. Nothing in the prompt about your own time / aging freezing. The world is frozen, so you have to assume that it comes with immortality and no need for eating and sleeping. Otherwise it doesn't give you the power to instantly learn books from the perspective of other people. It just makes you die the moment you touch an encyclopedia for the first time. If you still age, then there's barely any pros to this ability. All it's doing is forcing you to binge read everything you touch. There is like literally no dowside. Your dowside is just the bonus ability to freeze time by touching books. Okay, yeah. You could always have a child book, the kind of stuff who take 5 minutes to read and use your power in an handy way. Your friends, why do you have so many Curious George and Clifford books? You don't even have kids. So you're saying I instantly, deeply and intuitively understand the information contained in the book, but as a penalty I then have to actually read the content, in the sense of passing my eyes over the actual characters on the page at a normal reading pace, even though I already understand it all. Sign me the fuck up. I would murder so many advanced physics and math books, it wouldn't even be funny. The actual reading part is like the least hard part of understanding most of that stuff. Or hell, advanced statistics and machine learning. Hell, just grab a book on speed reading and become a master of that and you'll get through any book in no time. Like you say, reading itself is quick, it's processing the information that takes time. The reading / length of the book is not what takes time when trying to absorb / understand concepts in math and physics books. It's common to breeze through a chapter only to spend hours on a page trying to take in a certain theorem proof or the like. I'm still trying to understand if the prompt means you instantly get it, but then have to read it, or if it says time freezes until you read and absorb everything in a text. Either way, sign me up. I'd love taking a few solo weeks / months to work through a topology book or the like. Reddit, would you eat a banana for $1 billion with the drawback being that you know not everyone loves bananas? Would you take a shit for $16 quintillion? Only if no one ever knew about it and the toilet washed me after. Can you imagine how embarrassing it would be for other people to know you had a bowel movement at some point in the past? That's a hard choice, bro, I dunno. Would you? So hard to make that call. In the one hand it's a little bit of money and we can all use for those little things we need around the house. On the other hand, I would be totally mortified if someone found out and said something like, you know, bananas are okay but they are just not my thing. Or worse yet, comment on the little black nub at the bottom I would have to eat. Can you imagine? Sounds like nothing but positives to me. Sure, I'd accept it. You can't touch any literature or time will freeze on you. And I'm bored at work and want to learn a new skill, pick up the book and leisurely read it until I'm finished. With that power I could also do other things assuming I can still move and see and such. Op asks a question and then argues all the answers. I have to think that Op meant something different from what everyone is interpreting this as, because otherwise this thread makes no sense. I think they must have meant that, once you start reading a book, that is the only thing that you do until you are done. No repositioning your body. No glancing around the room. Certainly no taking a break and napping. Your eyes scan and your fingers turn pages, no free will about it. Then there's at least something to think about. But they really didn't communicate that if that's what they meant. This is correct because otherwise there would be no dowside to make it a curse. Do I absorb it as I read it or as I touch it? Because your question kind of contradicts itself. That was what I was thinking. Surely you're not absorbing anything if you have to read the book anyway. If the mechanical act of looking at the words means you gain the information in the book, then it is an amazing gift. If you are required to learn and retain 100% of the information in order to unfreeze time, then it's definitely a curse. Even more so if you need to understand what that info means. Maybe you could memorize the contents of a short book written in a language you don't speak, but if understanding is required, then I hope that you are prepared to learn a new language from books alone. Why did I have to scroll so far to find this comment? I was so confused. Like, how is that an ability? That's how reading works. It makes sense. To the perspective of others, you instantly absorb the knowledge of the book. The power works by freezing time until you read the entire book, effectively absorbing all knowledge of the book instantly in real time. It's just that the knowledge is absorbed in the exact same way books are normally read anyways. Yeah, no negative to this at all. Time control and infinite knowledge. Repeatedly throws Bibles at you. Well, you can't throw a Bible if you're frozen in time. What happens if you touch an e-reader / Kindle? Read the brand on the front, crack it open and read the C-receipt board / resistors / capacitors / etc., then read the back. Boom, cover to cover. That's not a book, it's a device to access books. Time to read all the books in existence. So if you are forced/required to read the book cover to cover before the world starts turning again anyways, what the fuck is the point of instantly learning about the book? Now you're just forced to read a book but the whole story has already been spoiled for you. This sounds very dumb. You only instantly know what's in the book from other people's perspective. You still have to read the entire book yourself. It wouldn't be spoiled for you. In either case, that would be horrible. I love reading, but I'm not going to literally put the whole world on hold while I casually read through a 1,000+ page book. I don't think Op has ever actually read a book before or at least enjoyed reading one. For some reason he didn't know that once you finish a book you gain the knowledge of what was in it. Yeah, I don't get the value of this at all.